Because here's the thing, we can speak things into existence, right? And when we are clear about the things that we want, we will get them, right? Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation has been making lists of the things that they want basically since the Reagan administration. They gave it to Reagan, and Reagan put those things into place. And so we can have the things that we want, but we just have to be clear about it. And guess what? Democrats are not clear about what they want. I was just ranting about this with my husband. What do Democrats want to do with immigration? What's their stance? What is the tax code stance that Democrats want? I know that they want to tax billionaires, but what does that mean? What does that look like? They are not specific, right? Things are being destroyed. And yeah, I want the basic framework of the system that we have, but I want a lot more checks and balances. And I want a lot more of the power to be given back to the people, right? Instead of corporations and billionaires and whatnot. And I do think that if people, like, these things are basic that both Republicans and Democrats want. And I think that a lot of this isn't political, but if we're specific about the things that we want, that's how you create a movement. And that's how ideas spread, and that's how they get implemented. You are never going to do anything unless you write it down and speak it into existence. Thoughts become things. So I am at this point where I'm watching the destruction of our democracy and our government. And I'm like, at first I was like, okay, cool. We're going to get everything back that's being destroyed and taken away. And then I'm like, but we can do better. We can do better. Right? Let's not just bitch about, oh, everything's getting destroyed. Oh my God. Oh, and the thought of like the long slog of building back the same shitty systems. I'm like, we can do better. And if we don't do it, someone else is going to do it. If we don't build the government that we want and build back the democracy that we want, someone else is going to do it. I don't want the people building back the government to be people that are going to put interest and unfairly rig the system towards billionaires and corporations. It's already that way. They can make it worse. As we rebuild, they could literally create more, like they could take away even more checks and balances, and they could rig the system even more in favor of that. Unless the people get behind it. And right now, we're just kind of at the whim of what they're doing instead of planning, instead of formulating ideas and planning and structuring. And that is what we need to do. I don't think the Democrats are doing that, right? I don't even think the Republicans are doing that. Everyone's just kind of watching in awe as like they blow things up, literally destroying the White House. What an amazing allegory for a symbol for what is actually occurring. Okay, cool, but what are the plans for rebuilding, right? Let's do the blueprint. Let's pull it together. And most people are in agreement with this stuff. Republicans, Democrats, upper middle class, lower income, everybody is pretty much in agreement with a lot of the same stuff. So let's be clear about what we want. And that is how you create a movement. That is how you create change and rage against the machine, right? I'm all about that.